Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning into a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our sister, Dr. Ihsan Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam.
And on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come have a conversation with us. The first thing that we want to talk about is, what was it like growing up in the nation?
Oh, wow. So growing up in the nation, I would say, okay, so first and foremost, it's been a blessing because there's nothing like being able to know and understand who you are, where we come from, and especially more present now, like where we're going,
Mhm.
and the friends and that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan has built for us as a nation has definitely been able to spill over into our families. I would say you and I both, that we have been blessed to be able to experience so many different things, and have so many friends and family that just help us, in various different ways. And so I think that more so than anything, foundation of who you are, faith is super important. And because if you don't have, if you don't know like who you are, as far as a basis, you have no clue of where you're trying to go. And so that's first and foremost, you got to know, who you are first. And then in order to be figuring out where you're going. So I would say, growing up in a nation that it's provided me that base and that understanding. When I got to be, an age where I understood who I was, then I was like, oh, okay, I my own so that I could have, even further, better understanding, and then decide like, okay, yeah, this is what I was raised on, but also this is what I furthermore believe and understand, and that's how I want to live my life, So that's what growing up in a nation of Islam has done for me. It's provided that wonderful base, and then furthermore, my interest peaked where I wanted to go in and study more, and then today, we live in our best lives as Muslims. All praise due to Allah.
Cool. My sisters Miriam and Naima both send the greetings to the Salam family. And Mimi says, Ihsan, you look beautiful. Okay, thank you.
Praise be to Allah.
All right. Thank you, Mimi. All right. So the next thing I wanted to ask you is, who are your parents?
Oh, my parents are Brother Amin Muhammad and Sister Amina Muhammad from Washington, D.C., Muhammad Mosque number 4.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. May Allah continue. First of all, may Allah continue to bless you and your family, and wishing nothing but love and positive energy to your family. And shout out to your moms for being one of our mom's mothers and always being kind to us and looking out for my moms. And every Savior's Day, I just love seeing your mom. So please let her know we love her and we send her nothing but love and positive energy. So please let her know that.
Absolutely, will do.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So how did you get to that concept of saying you want to go be in medical school and then go to Cuba?
Okay, well, first I wanted to go into the medical field. My mom, she's a nurse, and so I got a lot of, I would say, influence from her as being in the medical field, and just learning about who we are, as like, what is our bodies, consists of, all the things, how, there are sicknesses and illnesses in our communities. And she was like, listen, be a doctor. And I was like, what? I was like, Mom, like what? Because like they have the take your daughter to work day, you take your, your son to work. Like those days, she was like, come on, I'm gonna show you what it's like, And then I was in there and I said, okay, all right, I'm getting it, I understand. She was like, yeah, so this is hard work. She said, but what I want you to do is be a doctor, because you will be able to write all the prescriptions and know all the basis of everything that it entails to really heal someone, if you will. And so, I was like, okay, like, yeah. So I would say that influence, initially, and then, growing up, once I got to high school, I was actually in a special program called Healthy Human Service Academy. And it was for students who wanted to go into the medical field. So by my senior year in high school, I shadowed an OBGYN doctor in the hospital, and was blessed to be able to do a cesarean section with her. And it was amazing. Like, just to have that experience as a young person, just a senior in high school, it was, phenomenal. And so I really am blessed to have that, like, upbringing, if you will. And then, once I got to college, I was like, okay, I majored in computer science. I got my degree in computer science. And along the way, I was introduced to the program, Elam Medical School in Cuba, by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He spoke at a local church in our, in our community in Washington, D.C. And I was like, is he serious? Like, if it wasn't nobody else, I probably been like, hold up, is this true? But, since listen, the minister, his credibility all the way around. So I was like, yeah, I'm about to do what I need to do to get into this program. And yes, sir, that was, kind of my beginning history of how I went into the School of Medicine.
Beautiful. All praise due to Allah. Thank you very much. Brother Nelson Ramos, Massachusetts. Assalamu alaikum, beautiful people of God. Walaikum salam, sir. Mimi said that's phenomenal that you got to have that experience while in high school. Excellent. We're going to come back to medical school, but you're in the delivery room. And is that like a woman thing that you could just handle that and not pass out or something? Or is that somebody, if you just if you're interested in that, you'll be strong?
I think that it varies. It definitely varies, because
okay.
I have been in class with a lot of different people that, male and female alike, are kind of like cringy when they see blood, and it's, but I don't know. For me, I told you, I did the go to work with your mom days, and that's serious stuff. It's like you kind of get used to seeing, like, this is part of being in medicine and working in medicine, that you are going to see blood. It's not, so now only time when you need to be alarmed is if you're losing blood that you weren't supposed to be losing, and it's an emergency. So yes, sir. But I mean, for me, I was fine with it. I got used to it, if you will, because I'm currently, I'm also certified as a phlebotomist and medical assistant. So I did that a while ago, but you get used to it. It's not a thing.
Okay, all praise due to Allah. Okay, yes, ma'am. All right, now you go to medical school in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like? Is it y'all get to eat? You got to cut your own food? Do you got to is it like fast food restaurants, American restaurants, or are you outside like chasing goats? Like what was it like over there in Cuba and stuff? What was it like? Put us on.
Okay. No. Okay. So that's funny. So in the scholarship, we are provided with room and board.
Okay.
And so that does include basic meals. It's a very light breakfast. They usually serve, like, I'll give an example. It'll be like some bread with coffee. It's like basic. It's like real
Okay.
basic. It's not. But lunch is like a regular lunch, and dinner is basic. Your basic meals usually includes a rice, meat and beans. And then, you'll have a vegetable of some kind or fruit. And, I was explaining to to a lot of people that it is fruits, vegetables that are in season. It's not like, you get eating everything, but you do get at least a basic meal. So, but for me, I would say I'll share that I'm vegetarian. So when I first went away to Cuba, it was kind of challenging because their basic meals include a lot of pork products, and so initially as a Muslim student, we had to kind of organize amongst ourselves as Muslim students and, let the school know that we really need something that we can eat that's not going to be harmful to our system in the sense that we don't eat pork. And so they accommodated us, and like now things are like chicken based, and so that was something that was really helpful for us. But for me, I supplement and buy my own fruits and vegetables, and cook a little something on the side to just to supplement my diet better, because I didn't eat meat. So yes, sir. So beans, and especially for us, navy bean, the white navy bean is the best, and so got to incorporate that into your diet for sure.
Yes, ma'am. All praises to Allah. And they had navy beans in Cuba.
They have navy beans in Cuba.
Okay.
Now, mostly they eat a lot of black beans, of course, but there's black beans, there's white navy beans, there's also what do you call it? Colored beans. They're lentils. They have it. They have it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. All right. Now I want to ask you about language. Did you go to Cuba speaking fluent Spanish, or is that something you had to learn over there?
So I did learn Spanish I took Spanish. Let me say, I took Spanish in high school and in college, but it really was not to the level where I was fluent. And when I went away to school, they teach you first year medical school. Well, I would say first year that you're there in Cuba, they teach you Spanish. So the first 6 months is all Spanish. And then the latter part of the year is incorporated along with basic sciences and math. So we had all basic sciences, the math, and like a course, of IT course, skills on how to study. So all of that we were taking in the second half of the year. So I learned Spanish in Cuba to be fluent in Cuba.
Okay, great. Yes, ma'am. All right. Praise be to Allah. What advice would you give to those who want to go into the medical field?
I think that if it's something that you want to do, you have to push for it. Like, of course, this is a program that you will be able to go in and have a scholarship. Like I said, room and board is included. All your classes and your books are in Spanish. So like I said, they teach you Spanish when you first get there. So don't worry, you're going to learn Spanish without a doubt. And then, the great thing about this program is that once you finish, you're going to be fluent in Spanish. And that is an asset for you coming back to practice. So you can service your community with the Spanish speaking population as well as English. So those are, kind of some perks for going through the program, but you can definitely do it as long as you put your mind to
it. Gracias. Okay.
I put nada.
See, you know what I'm saying? I see. All right. So listen. So I just want to let everybody know. Thank you, everybody, for showing love to our sister, Dr. Ihsan. Okay, so now the reason that we wanted to bring you on is to let people know what you're doing now and how can we assist you in the pursuit of your furthering your career.
Yes, sir. So I am currently studying for my board exams. And one thing that you all should know is that as a graduate of the program, I'm considered an international medical school graduate from Cuba. And when we come back here, we have to take the same exams that any other student that went through medical school here in the States has to take. So that is the USMLE board exams, step 1, 2, and 3, and residency. And so those are the requirements for us. And so right now, currently, I am working on studying for my board exams, and I'm currently working on getting into a program to assist me with that process of studying for the board exams. And they help with your test taking skills, your strategies, and high yield things that you need to know for the exam. And so, yes, I currently have crowdfunding methods that you can support me with working on getting into the program.
Yes, ma'am. And what is it, a Cash App, or is it just like how do we do it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yes, I do prefer if people want to give donations, they can send them via Zelle, ihsan.nm@gmail.com, or they can also send a Cash App. My Cash App tag is $DRSWEET19, and so that's 3 E's.
So
Dr. Sweet
Sweet
with 3 E's.
Okay.
19. That's correct.
But T at the end, or just
T.
no? Okay, T 19. Okay, boom. Ain't no pressure. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. And it's a yellow flower in the picture, just so everybody knows. And I do have a GoFundMe, so everyone, I'm using 2 different funding methods. One is Co-op Business, and then the other is GoFundMe. A lot more people are familiar with that one, but yes, sir.
Absolutely. And the People Podcast community is here to do just that. So everybody from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, let's all make sure we tap in with our sister, Dr. Ihsan, to help her in any way that we can. Once again, that's Zelle, Ihsan, Dr. M@gmail.com.
No, I'll spell it out. It's
Okay,
so the Zelle is IHSAN dot, like the dot at the end of the period of your sentence. So Ihsan dot N as in Nancy, M as in man @gmail.com. So that's for the Zelle. And then for the Cash App is $DR as in doctor, SWEEE, 3 E's, T 19. And if someone wants to, the email that is connected to the Cash App is drihsannm@gmail.com. So that is doctor. So DOCTORIHSANM@gmail.com. So that's just in case someone wants to put in the email that's connected to the Cash App. That's it.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. And my sister Miriam is putting all this information on Facebook. And then when I chop it up later in the week to post on Instagram and stuff, then we'll make sure we put it in the caption as well, or in the comment section.
Absolutely.
Everybody show love to our sister, who is a nation baby, somebody who, people got to grow up and watch, and now she's making everybody proud, making us all proud, representing Muhammad on a level in a very competitive field of medicine. So we are rooting for you, Dr. Ihsan. Yes, ma'am. Boom. Okay. So what has been the greatest lesson about coming back, to your community from, Pablo Escobar and stuff, like in Cuba and stuff? Like, what was going on like when you came back?
When I came back from Cuba, like what was
like,
going
so
on?
exactly, like how was that, like coming back from over there? Like, what I'm saying, you get accustomed to waking up, every day speaking Spanish. Now you back in America.
Listen, what I say is that it is kind of a huge step to kind of integrate back in, because you get used to, okay, when you go over there in Cuba, you don't have a whole lot of resources like we have here. And so when I first went away to school, we didn't have internet
Mm,
that was readily available like we have on our cell phones all the time. And we actually stood in lines like at I was like about midnight, and we would stand in line for a long time for all of us to get a little bit of bandwidth and send a message to our families, email our families. And
mm,
then as time went on, while I was over there, they were able to improve on the connections. And so data on your phone became available. And so that's when everybody started using WhatsApp and everything from straight from your phone directly.
mm.
And so recently that was a thing. It's like, okay, and then COVID hit. Oh man. So we transitioned from classes, normal classes, right? to everybody was in a WhatsApp group. And that's how we were doing classes during that COVID period. We all had WhatsApp groups. We did our papers and we turned them in on WhatsApp.
Mm.
And so that was, interesting, of course, just, the resource, the things that we had available to us to be able to use consistently, because not everybody has a computer in their home or a way to connect to the internet in their homes. So the mobile phones and using WhatsApp was the thing that we were able to do. And coming back here, it's just, it makes you so grateful for everything that you have, because not being able to have access to all those different things. And like I was saying earlier, you have all the fruits and vegetables imported here from all over. And so you eat fruits and vegetables out of season, really, because they're coming in from all different places. And so, those are, some of the things that you kind of miss a little bit when you're in a different country and they don't have regular access to those things. So yeah, when coming back here, I was like, oh, praise be to Allah, like now I can do this and now I can do that. I do everything from my phone for the most part anyway. And a lot of people do, because you just like on the go and everything. But yeah, so I would say that was a few of the main things, just being grateful for everything that I had once I came back home. And then the other side to it is it's really, sometimes I would say for your peace and just tranquility, like it is very, very peaceful in a sense that you're not connected to all that stuff, when you're in a space where you don't have readily available the internet all the time. So here people like wake up on their phones. In Cuba, if you don't have access, if you don't have data on your phone to be able to connect, then you're not doing that.
Mm.
So I would say part of that helps to really keep your focus over there. So you're focused on being a student and studying, and when you get back here, it's like the news, politics, it's, everything that is on the internet, all the people that, post different stuff on the internet that you are exposed to on such a high level that you're like, wow, it's like you kind of didn't miss it really. For some people, if you kind of got attached to that, then maybe that's something. But yeah, no. Also, I didn't have a vehicle when I was in Cuba. I'm not driving nowhere. I wasn't working as a student. Of course, like the main thing was just you going to school. You don't have time to work and do all those kind of things. So that's another level of like disattachment that you don't have to worry about when you're away at school. But coming back here, yeah, just all of that, just integrating back in. Like, okay, I need money. I need to eat. No, I don't have a cafeteria or a corridor that I'm going to just get a meal. Like I have to cook it, and so those are all different kind of things that just coming back into being at home with family that you kind of have to integrate back in your life.
Perfect. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. We appreciate you for going abroad and bringing it back to help further, us as a nation, represent your family as well as the community. So, your your specialty would be OBGYN?
So I plan to do family medicine with a focus in women's health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So shout out all the sisters, make sure you reach out to her, you know what I'm saying, and dealing that stuff. Okay, good.
Yes.
All
So
the-
and when I was away at school in Cuba, actually my 3rd through 6th year, I did what they call like an ayudantía or teacher's aide, teacher's assistant. And that was all done in the OBGYN department. And so I was able to get experience with births and, you know, just monitoring the pregnant women before and after birth. And so that is a love of mine, you know, in the field of obstetrician gynecology. But, you know, I feel like I didn't want to limit myself. I wanted to be able to help, you know, everyone as much as possible. So my practice in the future, inshallah, I'll be able to, you know, have some days where I do family medicine and the other days where I'm just, you know, focused on women's health. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. All praises to Allah. All right. Got 2 more questions for you. What is your favorite album of all time, ma'am?
Oh, man. I have a lot of different artists that I listen to.
J-Lo, Carlos Santana. I'm trying to figure out what you listen to over there. Mark
No, I
Anthony,
mean,
Enrique
I
Iglesias.
huh? Which one?
Enrique Iglesias, Mark Anthony. I don't know what you listening to over there. I don't know what you listening to over there.
So I mean, over there, of course, we listen to all the artists that are Spanish speaking, of course, you know.
Okay.
But I would say I listen to a lot of music from the States, and
Okay.
everybody is like, "Hey, you have music from back at home," and they're like, you know, "Yeah, give that to me, give that to me."
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I wouldn't say that I have necessarily one favorite album and that's it.
Okay.
I listen to R&B, hip hop, a little rap, you know, so like there's a mixture, there's a
Okay.
good mixture
Okay.
in there. And yeah, so I see some of the ones that you have on behind you, you know, Whitney Houston is like,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, everybody over there in Cuba is like, oh, Michael Jackson, you know, Michael Jackson. So it's funny because, of course, you know, some of the older artists, they're like, you know, yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, you kind of get that when you get over there. It's like, yeah, oh, you saw him, you saw him. It's like, yes, I did.
That's it. Wonderful. All right. And one more time, how can we support you and show love to you in your pursuit of passing these board exams?
So yes, anyone who would like to support me in going to my program to assist me with studying for my board exams, I am asking for people to send donations via Zelle, and that is Ihsan nm gmail.com, ihsan.nm@gmail.com. Cash App is $DRSWEEE, 3 E's, T19. And the email address that's connected to that is doctorisannm@gmail.com. So Dr. Ihsan M@gmail.com. And then
Perfect.
and Brother Joshua's going to definitely put up the links for the crowdfunding methods.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. All right, great. And Dr. Hassan, you'll be doing this is for board exam 1. Like you broke it down, you said 3 exams, and this is like for the first board exam and all of this. Yes, ma'am.
That's correct. So it is recommended for us to take our board exams as we go along. So different from the medical students here. So here in the States, they have a requirement that you take step 1 after your first year, and then that needs to be done in order for you to go to your second year medical school. So contrary to that, for us as international medical students, we don't have that same requirement, but they do highly suggest for us to take them along the way. I just was not able to do that. Like I focused on making sure that I, pass my exams and everything there in medical school and get out of the program, as as a good doctor. And so anyway, yes, sir. So right now I am studying for my first board exam. I've not taken any of them as yet. So yes, I'm studying for my first board exam.
Beautiful. All praises due to Allah. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. And on behalf of myself, my family, and the Viewing Artists and People's Podcast, this is your home, Dr. Ihsan. You can always come back. Anything you're doing to let us, keep us updated and let us know how we can assist you once you, inshallah, once you finish doing all of this with your own practice. And we'll send all of the women and the sisters your way to help deal with, women's stuff. So
oh yes, absolutely. I'm working on making sure that I network with other doctors, and Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he wants us to open up our own, and so inshallah we can collaborate with the doctors and in our network and be able to open up our own hospital. And so ultimately, like, that is a goal of mine. Like, let's collaborate, all of the doctors. I'm a newly minted doctor, but there are plenty of doctors out here that have experience and have a little bit of more knowledge about how we can grow different practices together here and eventually form our own hospital. So inshallah, that's the goal. And so everybody who's listening on to the People's Podcast, listen, reach out to me, please, because I would like to network with everyone towards that effort, inshallah, in the future.
Beautiful. All praise to Allah. And if you all go to People's Podcast, real soon you will see a tab of the medical tab, and it will be of all of the phlebotomists, all of the surgeons, OGBYNs, and every anesthesiologist, the whole tab of all the people that we've had the honor of interviewing, the nurses. We thank a lot for everyone in the medical staff, so that everybody can, you just go and boom, click and say, oh, this brother, this what she does, this what he does, right. And we can have our own network. So I thank you, Dr. Ihsan, for representing for the nation, babies all over the world, right. That the teachings of Osama Elijah Muhammad are real, and that your parents, it's hard for people to have children and grow up in the nation, and you see them go off and do great things and come back and say, Ashhadu Allah illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. So that's powerful that you holding on to your faith, holding on to representing, and we salute you for that. Sister Captain Sultana says, yes, ma'am. Brother Adio Nasor, congratulations, sis. And Sister Anita says, assalamu alaikum, family. Okay, we can't wait to put this on YouTube. Thank you, everyone who continues to show love to the People's Podcast. And Sister Dr. Ihsan, may Allah bless you with more and more victories.
Praise to Allah. Thank you so much for having me. I'll praise.
Yes, ma'am. And tell your mother I am her favorite, and the nation knows I am her favorite, and I just miss her and love her so much. And yes,
she definitely says the greetings. Yes, she says she knows. She remembers, of course. Yes, you know, we have our family history. My mom was taking care of.
Exactly. All right. Well, this is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for watching.